So we just watched William.
Hi, I'm Bellamy.
I'm Zoe.
And this is What Did We Just Watch? The show where we talk about movies that are so bad,
So avant-garde.
and so mind-boggling that we have to ask ourselves, what did we just watch?
Today is our first episode.
And we watched the 2019 hit film, William. It was directed by Tim Disney and written by Tim Disney and J.T. Allen.
Is this a Disney like a Disney?
I'm guessing so, but I didn't look it up.
Fair enough.
William stars Maria Dizia from such things as My Neighbor's Window and some episodes of Orange is the New Black. Then there's Will Brittain? I don't know. He's William.
It's spelled like Britain, right?
There's more T's.
Oh, okay.
And then Waleed Zoë, I don't know. There's no one in this movie. There's no one of note, is the important thing. Do you want to take a guess on the Rotten Tomatoes score?
30.
It was 42%.
Okay. I was
But
close. That's
only-
way too high.
Only 12 critics reviewed it. So, and the audience score was 44% from 9 viewers.
So no one has seen this.
So no one has seen this movie. Except us. We have seen this movie. What is anything about William's personality?
Here's the thing. His personality is Neanderthal, but the movie also takes great strides to try to say he is in fact not a Neanderthal and instead a human because his intelligence and intellect is equal to that of a human.
But also, they talk about how dumb he is.
Yeah, there are many times when Neanderthals are referred to as, quote, dumb brutes. I wanna be able to talk about this film, but it is so perplexing on every level that I am struggling to verbalize.
Let's start off in the beginning. So there's Dr. Reed,
Yeah.
who is somehow a professor at Wallace University.
Yes.
And-
which is in the fictional story is in Washington State.
And he teaches a class on Neanderthals?
It's unclear.
Evolution? We don't know.
He exposits for us about how Neanderthals, they assumed they went extinct because their intellect wasn't as good, like Darwinian stuff. And it's stuff about eugenics that we don't need to get into because
Eugenics?
it's eugenics, and also the film never comes back to it. But so it's all pseudoscience about how actually the Neanderthals went extinct for some other reason, and so this Dr. Reed guy needs to bring a Neanderthal back to prove that Neanderthals are just as good as humans.
Yeah, so then he meets Dr. Sullivan. And he calls her a grad student, and she's like, actually, I have a PhD. And so then they fall in love. And
As one does.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah.
And they commit crimes against humanity together.
Yeah, they commit science crimes because they get their program defunded because everybody's like, please don't bring back a Neanderthal and
There
play
are
God. Don't do it.
many ethical dilemmas. No, not even dilemmas. Ethical problems.
Atrocities.
Yes. So they go and have a wedding in a Las Vegas Elvis chapel.
Yeah.
And then she gets pregnant there because apparently you can clone humans in Nevada.
Yeah, they put a Neanderthal embryo and Neanderthal DNA into her womb.
And then she
Secretly.
gives... Yes, no one knows. And then...
Because they've been defunded.
And then she gives birth to William. This all takes place in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, this is the first 10 minutes of the movie.
The plot and the sequence of events, the way it's edited, makes no sense.
No, it's not told linearly.
As William grows up, his parents split. His mom moves to some random island and he goes to some experimental school.
Yeah.
And his dad is very absent and barely comes and visits. But there is one time where his dad comes to visit and they're doing some tests and he has flashcards with like a smiley face, a sad face, and so it's like, wow, William understands how to read emotion. And William says, "I love you, Dad." And Dr. Reed says, "I'm so proud of you."
Scared.
Great job.
I love you, Dad.
I'm so proud of you.
Dr. Reed doesn't love his son.
Yeah, this movie just is very boring.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happens until
So much happens.
like the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So in the present, William is hanging out with this woman,
Sarah.
his dad's girlfriend,
Who
also is his tutor.
Yeah.
And is also the only Asian character, and talks about how her parents made her study all the time and were awful to her.
Hit her with a ruler when she didn't get an A.
Yeah, and then she was like, "But it's fine because they loved me." And then on top of that, also talked about how she took piano lessons for many years but never picked it up. So,
Shall we get into the model minority myth?
yeah, so in a movie where they're trying to dissect the idea of stereotyping and racism,
There is a whole scene of William as a maybe teenager, early teenager, like middle schooler, looking at like Encino Man or like other stereotypes about cavemen in media before he was born.
yeah,
So this is a running theme.
and like he gets called caveman and all this.
Cavey.
Yeah. Cavey. Yet the writer imposes all these stereotypes of tiger parents and the model minority of Asians are so good at school and all they do is study. So that was a choice. And then they're in the woods on a hike and William bursts out into song.
Oh,
And-
I totally forgot about that.
Because the only personality trait besides being a Neanderthal is that he does theater sometimes.
He loves to sing, and the movie says he's good at it, he is not.
Now and again, she won't see me as more than a friend.
And then after he bursts out into song, William and his dad's girlfriend kiss. Like, they passionately make out.
Mind you, we know at this point William is like freshly 18 and she is a either graduate or doctorate student.
Yeah, and also dating his father.
His father, yeah.
And then it kind of tries to turn into a family drama
The dad figures out that they have kissed.
just by looking at them.
Yeah.
So we see him saying like, "I want to go to school. I'm studying." And William talks about how he doesn't get metaphors. He thinks metaphors are bullshit and that things would be so much easier if we just said what we felt, you know?
This becomes very important to the film
Later on.
but also throughout, because for me this brought up a lot of questions about what does the director think about metaphors and specifically allegories?
Because this film, it feels like it wants to be an allegory for something.
For some sort of prejudice or discrimination. It's unclear if they want it to be more like racism
or people who are neurodivergent. We don't know because the writers don't know.
And
they don't dig deep enough.
If William is so averse to metaphor and therefore I assume allegory, like, is the director trying to tell us, the audience, don't look deeper at this than the movie is? Just like, this is about a Neanderthal experiencing Neanderthal prejudice?
I feel like that's giving the creators too much credit.
It being an allegory for discrimination, like, is so, like, crucial to the film. Like, the dad, Dr. Reed, is so obsessed with the idea that William is just like any other human, that he shouldn't be treated differently in any way, not even, like, acknowledging that he's a Neanderthal, except to prove that he is just like other humans.
William goes to take his SAT, and he does not want to finish it, so he just walks out.
Yeah.
Which you can't do.
No.
The proctor said nothing. They would stop you.
Yeah.
And then he goes to visit the William specimen.
So I have some more questions about allegory. He visits the William specimen, and he looks at him and, oh God. So he finds the woman who discovered the William specimen and, like, takes care of it. She gives her theory for why Neanderthals went extinct and humans didn't.
She essentially posits that, like, Homo sapiens came up with stories and were able to band together and drive Neanderthals extinct and into small communities.
So she says, like, complex stories
and complex narratives.
So my first thought is, like, okay, so metaphor killed the Neanderthals. Very cool. And then she says, and then after some explanation, she also says, like, that the concept of religion helped people.
And, like, country and tribe and stuff like that.
Yeah, so
like, convince
nationalism.
them. Yeah, something to die for.
So nationalism killed the Neanderthals. We are given no evidence. She's really just decided this. So again, like, what are you trying to say about metaphor? What are we trying to say about nationalism? I don't want to get into it. Yikes.
Yeah.
So then he's like, I don't belong here. This being is so peaceful, dead in the ground. I don't belong in this time.
So we think, is he gonna commit suicide?
And I'm thinking, like, so what does this have to do with, like, the acceptance narrative we've been following? Like, him being hurt by stereotypes, him being bullied, him being, like, a fascination of the world. William explicitly says he does not belong here.
Yeah, so is that supposed to mean that, you know, if people discriminate against you and bully you, it's 'cause they're right?
The implications.
His tutor girlfriend / his dad's girlfriend is freaking out because he's not at the testing center, so she calls his mom and is like, hey, is William with you? And she's like, no. And so they go looking for him. And as William is, like, leaving the university, he goes to his dad's, like, lecture.
Yeah.
And his dad says, like, oh, William, this is a dumb brute. And he doesn't even call him his son. He just says, my, like, work, my experiment is gonna go to college right here at Wallace University. And William's, like, lurking in the back with a hoodie, and he's like, no, he's not. And he's like, what'd you say? And he, like, takes his hoodie off and stands up. No, I'm not. And then he's like, your work failed. And his dad...
your work is a failure.
Oh, yeah. So he stands up and he says, your work is a failure. And then his dad, who's not even his dad, just says...
He has a stepdad who we never...
Ted! We love Ted.
Hi, Ted.
Hey there, William.
Hashtag where's Ted?
Hashtag more Ted. But so then Dr. Reed goes, no, you're a failure.
To William!
In front of his students.
Because William couldn't get into college.
I mean, we won't even get into how standardized testing is problematic.
Yeah.
So, William exits, his dad chases after him, and his dad's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean what I said, and they get in a tussle, and William has been carrying around this, like, rock that they mentioned at the beginning that's really not that important, but apparently Neanderthals made it.
It's like a weapon.
Yeah, it's like a big arrowhead or something.
Yeah.
And somehow accidentally hits Dr. Reed in the head, but after Dr. Reed slaps him.
Yeah, he does slap him.
Yeah, the slap.
Starring
Zachary Quinto.
Yeah.
And so, is he dead? Is he not? William runs.
There are people all around them. Somebody calls the medics.
Yeah, and then his mom shows up and is like, I think he's fine. I think he's gonna make it, but I'm gonna go with him to the hospital. And then William emerges from one of the buildings.
Like, I think it was like a library or something. He's run away from the scene. Campus security is looking for him. He's emerged from one of the buildings.
The cops have guns pointed at him. His tutor girlfriend / dad's girlfriend is like, no! And it's like in slow motion.
Yeah.
And then...
Very serious.
And then William is on the ground.
He's guns down.
We don't even get to see him get shot. He's just smiling. And then cut to, he's on the ground. The last scene of this movie is horrifying. Horrifying. And
it takes itself so seriously.
Yeah, so you think maybe this is like a flashback or something, and you see the site where the William specimen was recovered. And then it is revealed that the woman walking in the shot is Sarah, the tutor girlfriend.
Dad's girlfriend.
Yeah, the dad's girlfriend.
I guess ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, they're probably not together after all that. And she has a baby, and it is... it is a half Asian, half half Neanderthal baby. And then, cut to black.
Credits roll. When I tell you that we screamed and that we shouted no.
So, we just presume William was murdered by the police, and then she had his unborn Neanderthal baby?
Yeah, we don't see them have sex, so it's unclear when that happened. But it
did. So let's give some context. Let's go back a little bit. So Zoe and I, we love watching trailers like on the Apple Trailers app because there's batshit crazy trailers.
Yeah.
Nonsense, great, it's funny, it's a good time.
Go watch the trailer for Unhinged, starring Russell Crowe. I'm begging you.
Unhinged is the right word. So we, a while ago, saw this trailer for William, and we thought it was hilarious and perplexing, understandably, and we're like, God, we have to watch this movie.
Yeah.
And fast forward.
It's been like 6 months?
Oh, way more than 6 months.
You're so right. It's been like a year and a half.
And somehow we manifested it, and it was for such a crazy, wild premise. The movie's so boring.
We like skipped in our little summary slash like analysis. We skipped the majority of the plot. That we didn't even talk about when him and his friends get high on shrooms with hippies.
Or when he was in a pirate musical and kisses a girl without consent.
Yeah, that happens. Like most of the story is really just William just going through the trials and tribute. What is the line from Riverdale?
That means you haven't known the triumphs and defeats, the epic highs and lows of high school football.
But except no football.
Just highs and lows of being a Neanderthal.
Yeah. There's no like tension. There's not really much conflict. Like this story really is not about like being a Neanderthal in modern society, which like still would have been absolutely absurd.
But at least we could have.
It's what we were promised.
Yeah, it could have been interesting. We were halfway through this movie and we were like looked at the time, and I was literally like, how is there an hour left?
Yeah.
Like nothing happened, but also it felt so long.
Yeah.
The surprising thing about this movie is it doesn't look terrible.
No. If he is part of the Disney family, it shows.
Yeah, someone had some money.
Yeah.
Someone knew how to work a camera.
Someone had a beautiful lake house.
A beautiful house, which I don't know how they afford on two professors' professor
budget, because they get divorced.
Oh yeah, professor salary. Like I can't imagine there's much money in
what crimes.
No. So Zoe,
Yes.
what would you rate this movie?
I would give this a 0.5 star out of 5.
I would also give it 0.5 star out of 5. Why?
It is perplexing. It is a good question because this movie takes itself unbelievably seriously. Like, I feel like Tim Disney really thought he was doing something here, and he was not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is wild because there's no, like, the things we've talked about, like the metaphor stuff, the discrimination stuff, none of that is explored to any degree.
No, it just happens.
Yeah, so it's just events occurring, but it takes itself so seriously as if it's trying to make some sort of grand statement.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even try.
It was so surface level.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would not watch this movie.
No.
Even though it's free, I would not watch this movie.
No. Hence why we spoiled the whole thing.
Yeah, so that's William.
That's William. Tune in next time.
Yeah.
Which will be in an unspecified amount of time and will be about an art house movie that I get to choose because I am pretentious. So.
And I like bad movies. Thank you for joining us. This has been What Did We Just Watch?
You're not a caveman. I know. I'm a Neanderthal.